Good morning, Card Monkey fans. This is Ellen. I wanted to bring you a demonstration of a card that I'm going to show on my blog today. This is a birthday card that I've made for a friend of mine. I've used Nikki Silva's line of paper. This is the Willow Bee paper. This pretty scallop border is one of the papers. It actually comes in a circle with the scallops already cut like that. This is just 2 layers of it. I cut it in quarters. The background paper is another paper. I trimmed these scallop papers down to the little, I guess, marked edge. Then inside I put a greeting. Be happy. It's your birthday, and that little bee in the front there up top is also cut from the honeycomb pattern on one of the other Nikki Silva's line of paper. I decorated this little guy with a bee that is cut from a Sizzlet die. This Sizzlet die cuts it in obviously in one color, and I cut it in both gold and black, pieced it together, and also made a piecing for the wing out of blue, and little pieces for the cheeks in pink. I put stickles on the wings. Can you see that? And also on the antenna. I used yellow stickles, and I used pink stickles on the cheeks. The nose has a little green backing to the cutout, and that's because I figured the bee had some pollen stuck in its nose. At any rate, I wanted to give this bee some action. As you can see, it has really nice action. It's very elevated. Now, normally I would use an action wobble for these. Action wobbles come in a pack. They look like this. They are thin. They are adhesive on the top and on the bottom, and they have a white plastic spring in the middle. And as you can see, they're pretty flat, and I wanted to give this bee a little more dimension on the card. So I made my own wobbler, and the way that I did that, if you can look underneath, I used some foam mounting squares that I actually cut, and then some this was actually beading wire that I made. I think it's about 32 to 36 gauge wire, and I'm going to show you how I made those in this brief tutorial. But again, I think it gives it nice spring and elevation when you do it yourself. So let me just quickly show you how I did that. I got this package of indoor mounting tape. It's foam, it's adhesive, came on a roll of about 3.47 yards, and I got it at Lowe's. It was about $7 or so, and obviously you can cut a whole bunch of action wobbles out of this and use it for other things. Good buy. I understand you can get really good buy on that sort of tape at Big Lots, but we don't have a Big Lots near us. What I did is I cut a piece of the tape. I backed it with freezer paper. Freezer paper doesn't allow your adhesive to stick. The reason I put it on the freezer paper is that I didn't want to gunk up my hole punch by cutting it on the adhesive side, and also it would probably stick to the bottom. Anyway, I just went ahead and I just punched that. Let me make sure that I had that all the way through. There you go. And that fell on the floor, but let me just show you that when it comes out, then, there you go, comes out and it just has the paper, and then you can peel away the backing paper, just like this, and let me put that so you can see that. Alright, now what you're going to do is take some wire. In this case, this wire that I took, can you see this? See how thin this is? This is beading wire. You can find it at Michael's or Joann's. I guess Michael's or AC Moore probably is best, or your favorite beading store. It's very thin. This one I just happen to have a whole bunch of it left over. I'm ashamed to show you how disorganized that is, but any rate, you take that beading wire, cut about a piece about 6 inches long, and then you're going to take that wire and just wrap it around something. I wrapped it around a paintbrush. Can you see? I'm sorry, this is not really getting in focus for you. But here, I just wrapped it around to create a couple of loops. so you can see that. And then what I did is I will stick this to the dot right here, and then I'm going to take a little piece of acetate. This is, you can't see this, I am sure, but you don't have to trust me on this. I hole punched a piece of acetate the same size from the same hole punch as I used for my dot, and then I'm just going to go and I'm just going to cover I cut a little slit so this will fit, and then once that's done, it looks like this. So it's just taped on there. You can't see it. It's firm. And then I'm going to repeat it on the same side, on the for the bottom. And so I'm going to make a sandwich, and then I'm going to put the same piece of acetate over it. You can, if you didn't want this much dimension, you can certainly do this just with paper and tape. It's a lot easier, and then just adhere your wobble to your card using a glue dot. But I like having this sort of pre-made action wobbles in with dimension. So you can see that does give it a nice extra dimension to it. And you can make these by the dozens for all of your cards. So I hope that gives you a little bit of tip on how to do that. This is Ellen again, hoping that you'll join me again, and hope you have a Be Happy day. Thank you. Bye.